feel like we've kind of grabbed it.
Guys are going to handle successes and failures however they're going to handle them.
With emotions running high, the Cardinals' response must be greater. It's time for Game 4.
The Dodgers shut out the Cardinals in Game 3, and folks, now we've got ourselves a series. 2013 National League Championship Series Upper Jump CBS is presented by the Venture Card from Capital One. Just a matter of moments away from the start of Game 4 in the best of 7, the Cardinals leading the Dodgers 2-1. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Los Angeles, along with Cal Ripken and Ron Darling. I'm Ernie Johnson. So, Ron, the Dodgers came home. They're down 2-0. They desperately need a win, and they went out and got it done.
Well, it's just amazing. In the postseason, the momentum can change daily, sometimes hourly. And how did they get it done? Rio was outstanding with 7 shutout innings. Their offense only scored 3 runs, but it finally broke out of that streak, as 3 was all they needed. And I think even more importantly, St. Louis Cardinals started to learn what the Dodgers have known all summer long. When Yasiel Puig has a big game, the Dodgers win.
Meantime, for the St. Louis Cardinals, their manager Mike Matheny called it an uncharacteristic performance in Game 3, Cal.
Yeah, the Cardinals weren't charged with any errors, but they made plenty of mistakes. There was the big base running blunder, and this big miscommunication between Beltran and Jay that led to a leadoff double that ultimately led to the 2 runs. Now, also, the Cardinals have got to find their offense. Yes, the pitching has been outstanding, and that's one reason, but they got to create more opportunities to score. They just haven't so far. And on the other side of, they should know, hey, we're up 2-1 in the series, so all we have to do is bounce back, and that's all they've done all year.
Starting pitchers will be Lance Lynn and Ricky Nolasco. Meantime, Major League Baseball, and especially the umpiring brotherhood, feeling a severe sense of loss in the wake of the death of 48-year-old Wally Bell, longtime veteran umpire who died of a heart attack yesterday. Earlier today, his memory was honored in Detroit. The same will be done here in Los Angeles. We turn it over to the public address announcer of the Dodgers, Eric Smith.
In all of Major League Baseball, mourn the passing of 21-year veteran Major League umpire Wally Bell, who passed away suddenly yesterday in his native Ohio. He was 48. In his memory, we ask that you please observe a moment of silence.
Thank you.
Back here at Dodger Stadium, getting ready for Game 4 of the National League Championship Series, and to the surprise of no one, a beautiful night here at Chavez Ravine. And here's tonight's batting order, brought to you by the Venture Card from Capital One. Matt Carpenter again leads off for St. Louis. Carlos Beltran in the 2-hole. Then Matt Holliday trying to break out of an NLCS slump. Matt Adams in the cleanup spot. Then Yadi Molina, John Jay, David Freese, who left last night's game, good to go today at third base. Daniel Descalzo starts at short tonight. Pete Kozma out. And Lance Lynn is the starting pitcher.
Well, starting pitching for the Dodgers tonight, Ricky Nolasco, who was 8-3 after coming over from a trade from the Miami Marlins. Grew up just about an hour from here. And as Don Mattingly said, with his good curveball, effective fastball, slider, and changeup, that Nolasco stuff plays.
13-11 overall between the two clubs. 8-3 with the Dodgers in 16 games. 15 of those were starts. He was supposed to start in the division series, but then on short rest, Clayton Kershaw made the start in Game 4.
And there was a lot of talk of maybe skipping him this time and going with Greinke and Kershaw on short days rest, but Mattingly chose to go with Nolasco.
So the only real change in that St. Louis lineup, Mike Matheny deciding to make a switch at shortstop. Descalzo for Kozma.
Number 47, Ricky Nolasco.
And for Nolasco, postseason appearance number 1 in his career, and he will face Matt Carpenter to start things off here in Game 4. Carpenter 2 out of 11 in the series, just 3 for 30 this postseason. Takes in tight, 1-0. Thanks for being with us today here on TBS as we bring you the National League Championship Series. On the ground wide of first. Gonzalez to Nolasco covering. 1 down. Cal Ripken, how about that Dodger defense?
Well, we got Carl Crawford in left field. Andre Ethier is back in center field. Yasiel Puig is in right. Up the middle, you got Hanley Ramirez, Mark Ellis. You got 3-time Gold Glove winner Adrian Gonzalez and Juan Uribe at third base. Behind the plate is A.J. Ellis, and on the mound is Ricky Nolasco. I guess I got to count the pitcher as the defensive guy.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
He gets a few balls hit back to him every once in a while.
The umpiring crew, the 6 men, Bruce Dreckman, Ted Barrett, Greg Gibson, Jerry Davis, Mark Carlson, and Mike Everett. And Beltran takes, and that was a poignant moment as they had the moment of silence here at Dodger Stadium. Is popped up behind third. Uribe's got room. 2 up and 2 down. This umpiring crew was actually notified just before they went on the field last night. The announcement wasn't made until after the game. But they had to deal with something that was very near and dear to each and every one of them just before they took the field to call a huge game. And there were certainly tough moments in that umpire's room. There was prayer, and then they took the field, did their jobs, because as they said, that's the way Wally would have wanted it. A strike to Holliday. 0-1. Holliday 0 for 12 in the series. This is popped up near the Cardinal dugout. Gonzalez has room. 3 up and 3 down for Ricky Nolasco. We head to the bottom of the first. Order is brought to you by the Venture Card from Capital One as we head to the bottom of the first. Carl Crawford once again leading off, then Mark Ellis and Hanley Ramirez. Agon in the cleanup spot. Andre Ethier hits 5th. Yasiel Puig, who broke out of it last night, hits 6th. Then it's Juan Uribe, A.J. Ellis, and Ricky Nolasco to face Lance Lynn.
When Mike Matheny, the manager of the Cardinals, was asked to describe Lance Lynn's fastball, he said it's like a cannonball when you catch it. Great sinking action, kind of 3/4 crossfires to baseball, and a good slider.
He was the winner in relief in Game 1 of this series in the Marathon 13-inning game. He starts here in Game 4, and Carl Crawford takes a strike, 0-1. Cal, I know you've talked about facing guys who throw that heavy ball. Say it's like hitting a bowling ball. This is the first cannonball I've heard.
That means it's heavier than the bowling ball.
In the air to center. John Jay, 1 down.
And here's the defense for the Cardinals. You got Matt Holliday in left, John Jay in center, Carlos Beltran with his 3 Gold Gloves in right. Up the middle, Daniel Descalzo is playing shortstop today. Matt Carpenter at second, Matt Adams at first, and David Freese at third base. Yadier Molina and Lance Lynn on the mound.
There was no gold out there yesterday in the outfield, more like lead.
And as Cal pointed out when we came on the air, no errors charged, but certainly a lot of mistakes out there. And John Jay, for one, this is a redemption game for him. He said, I got to catch that ball that falls between me and Beltran. I'm the center fielder. That's my ball. And he let it fall, and later had a ball tip off his glove, which really would have been a spectacular play, but it's one we've seen John Jay make before.
Yeah, no doubt about it. He has to take charge in center. There's a little miscommunication on the blooper Hanley Ramirez hit early on the game yesterday. You got to get on the same page so someone has a chance to catch that.
But you have to appreciate any player who owns up to his mistakes. I think that's pretty cool of John Jay. Holiday on the left and Beltran on the right.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Mark Ellis, who goes down swinging for out number 2.
I was talking about how he kind of crossfires that fastball and it just goes up and away from Mark Ellis's bat. Lynn has always liked pitching here at Dodger Stadium. 18 innings pitched, no home runs, 2-0 with a 2.5 ERA.
Well, here's Hanley Ramirez, who returned to the lineup in Game 3. He's 2 for 6 in the series with an RBI and has knocked in 7 this postseason.
Normally a bowling ball or a cannonball has that sort of sinking spin that runs in on the right-hander, and when you hit it, your bat vibrates so much as if you hit a bowling ball.
But you have not actually done that in your life, Cal, hitting a bowling ball with a baseball bat.
No, I wasn't too smart as a kid, but we never substituted a bowling ball in our pickup games.
Hanley's wincing already in this first at bat and that first big swing.
He took a pitch in the ribs in Game 1. Hairline fracture of the 8th rib. Sat out Game 2, played Game 3, and yeah, again you see the grimace.
I was watching really carefully for any kind of signs yesterday, and he seemed to play pretty free.
Took a little off. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Ramirez down to an E.
Well, I know we did see when the ball came in from the outfield on the catch, him having to reach up, and when you stretch that area, maybe that causes a discomfort, or maybe you extend on a swing where you foul off or miss it, and that'll create a lot of discomfort.
2 balls, 2 strikes, and Ramirez stays alive.
You know, it's never a good sign when your manager is spending a lot of his time next to the trainer, trying to explain what's going on and whether Hanley's going to be able to stay in this game for 9 innings.
Lynn strikes out Ramirez to end the first. Keeping an eye on Hanley. We go to the second. Coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires for superior performance inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. Top half of the second, Dodger Stadium, game 4. Both sides went in order in the first. Velasco now to Matt Adams, who takes a strike 0-1.
Hey, Ronnie, what signs do you look for when a pitcher hasn't pitched in a long time?
Yeah, he hasn't started since September 25th. I think the thing about you want to look at is that does he have his breaking ball for strikes? Is he locating his fastball? How hard is he throwing his fastball? I always call Velasco, who's not a guy who throws 95 plus, but he's a stuffed pitcher. He's a guy that can strike out a lot of hitters.
So I mean, so what does rust look like?
Rust to me looks like the ball is up in the strike zone because you're overthrowing. I think it's you don't have the ability to throw your breaking ball for strikes. We know he's pitched a simulated game, but that's certainly not the same as pitching in front of 55,000.
1-2 to the Cardinals cleanup hitter. Breaking pitch stayed outside. 2-2.
Postseason history, pitchers with 15 days rest or more, 8-20 with a 4.5 ERA. So usually doesn't fare well.
On the ground to Gonzalez, who can take that one himself. 1 down here in the second. It's been nearly 3 weeks since his last start. And on the last day of the season, pitched an inning of relief. There you see Hanley Ramirez. There was certainly a lot of conversation in the Dodger dugout between innings between Don Mattingly and the training staff.
I can see that he's adjusting. There is a pad underneath his uniform that he's using for protection.
Here's Yadier Molina. Stairs 1-0. Those 80 RBIs you see in the regular season, a career high for the Cardinals catcher, who takes again 2-0. Mike Matheny hoping that rattle the bat rack there in the St. Louis dugout. Bats have been so quiet here through the first 3 games. Hitting 134 as a team. Been outscored 5-4 in 3 games. Strike to Molina, 3-1. On the other hand, the pitching has been outstanding. Dodgers with an 0.92 ERA and the Cardinals $1.50. Ball 4, and there is the first base runner of the game. It's Yadier Molina.
Well, I think Velasco, the best thing he's done to handle this start had nothing to do with his pitching. He was asked many times why he was skipped over. He always had the best comments. I'm just going to work hard. I can only concentrate on what I can do, and I'm going to wait until they call my number.
It was always, this is not a me thing. It's a team thing. It's October. And here's John Jay. 1 out of 10 in the series. Late breaking pitch missed. 1-0.
So far as curveball looks like his better breaking pitch today. Threw a couple spinner sliders that didn't get on top of, that hung up to Molina.
Fouled away down the left side. So there were only 2 Cardinal hitters who have RBIs in this series. Beltran was the guy in the opener. Knocked in all 3, and Jay with a sacrifice fly in game 2 in that 1-0 win.
They've only had consecutive hits 1 time in this series, and that was yesterday.
But nothing came of it because Descalso was doubled off second on the looper to left. 1-1 with a man on and 1 out. And Velasco ahead 1-2.
Neither one of these teams are really big hitting run teams. Many times when you go into a slump, you might put that on a little bit more. Now the Cardinals have a few more guys in the lineup that they'd like to do it with. But when you have good hitters, you want to give them a chance to swing at their strikes and create pressure that way. And both teams fall into that category.
line foul down the right side.
My history of the hit and run in postseason is a lot of managers start not putting it on because it's a gamble play, it's a risk play, and they don't want to be judged on doing something a little risque.
Molina with a short lead at first.
Sometimes they call that lead a one-way lead, going backwards.
Well, what's funny is that Molina will occasionally steal a base on you if he sees that you're not paying attention to him. He'll get a big jump.
Strikeout number 1 for Ricky Nolasco. And it comes here in the second. 2 down.
Here's that good curveball you were talking about. It is. It's his best pitch. Nolasco's got a game he pitched in 2009 when he struck out 16, so he is a pitcher that can punch out a lot of batters.
Big downward break to that thing.
So that brings up David Freese, who singled last night and then left the game with tightness in his right calf.
That's a little bit better slider right there. A little harder breaking ball. In case you were looking for a fastball, you can break it off the plate.
Freese waiting on an 0-1. Breaking pitch over again, 0-2.
It's a nice combination. He throws the first one away from you and starts the second one at the right-handed hitter Freese.
One ball, 2 strikes.
You know, I would think a breaking ball, is a field pitch. And I would think that if you hadn't pitched in a while yet, you don't have that feel in a game. But he seems to have a really good feel for his break and his curveball. It looked like he found his slider there, too. It's got to be a good sign.
This reaches out and stays alive.
Many times that first at bat can give you a good indication of what's going to happen to you for the rest of the game. A lot of breaking balls here to Freese. If you get a hit and you hit a ball, then you could actually look for something else. If you make an out or strike out, that information is still valuable to apply for your next at bats.
Ran it in and fouled it off. Count stays 1-2. Freese hit .262 in the regular season, 9 home runs and 60 runs batted in. He's knocked in 4 here in the postseason.
Feeney on the top step. This is a top step of the dugout kind of game.
Molina, who walked at first. 2 out. Pretty good battle here between Nolasco and Freese.
Protecting against the breaking ball and fighting off the fastball. Fastball in, you got a piece of it. Fastball a little up, got a piece of it. Buys him another pitch.
He got Freese back-to-back strikeouts to end the second. We're scoreless in Los Angeles.
Welcome back to Dodger Stadium. There's a lot of debate in baseball whether there is momentum. Well, the Dodgers hope that last night's victory will get a surge from this event shown moments ago on the video screen in center field. This is the 25th anniversary of Kirk Gibson's pinch hit, home run, 2 outs, full count, 5 in the 9th inning. Dodgers win Game 1 of the World Series by the score of 5-4, 25 years ago today. EJ?
Thank you very much, Craig. And there's still conflicting reports about where that baseball actually is, as Adrian Gonzalez fouls it back. Some people claim to have had it. Others said it was, but nobody knows where the ball is.
If someone had it, we'd find out about it.
Yep. This is also the day every year that our buddy Dennis Eckersley turns off his cell phone. No balls and 2 strikes to Gonzalez.
We did torture him in the studio with that, didn't we?
Torture is putting it lightly.
Eck would be saying, what could I do? I threw him a 3-2 slide piece. He took me yard.
Count stays 0-2 to Adrian Gonzalez, leading it off here in the second. Adrian found himself having to defend how excited he got last night in the course of Game 3 after his run-scoring double. That's outside. Because remember, he was all pumped up as he stood on second. And Adam Wainwright saw that and described it as Mickey Mouse. To which Adrian Gonzalez said, we're only about an hour away from Mickey Mouse here, so it goes here in this part of the country. In the air to left. Holiday squeezes it for the first out. Let us go back down to Craig Sager. Sags?
I'll tell you what, Ernie, you said you didn't know where the ball is, but I do have a picture autographed in gold by Kirk Gibson. That's the best I can come up with. By the way, I wish I had his jersey, but it's recently sold at auction for $575,912. I think I'm going over to that right field pavilion and see if I can find the ball.
You'd be one of many who claimed to have it. Here's Andre Ethier. 1 out of 10 in the series, 1 for 13 in the postseason. In that first series, relegated to pinch hitting duties as he recovered from the left ankle injury, and Skip Schumacher got the starts. And played that 13-inning game and then sat out, back in there in Game 3 and now in Game 4.
Yeah, his timing has been off. Hit a few balls off the end of the bat, jammed it, trying to get his rhythm back and his timing back. Sometimes that just takes him at bats. In a good hitting situation here, laid off 2 pitches.
In the air to center field, that's a base hit. Ethier got enough to muscle it into center. Cardinals a loose bunch here in Game 4. One of LA's finest with a smile at the Cardinal dugout.
That's in London where you can't get them to react.
Exactly.
Not LA.
Well, here's Yasiel Puig. Had an 0-for going in the series until last night. Picked up a couple of hits. He's now 2 for 13 in the series, hitting .333 in the postseason. Hit a ball last night that he thought was out, raised his arms at the plate, then had to leg out a triple as it bounced away from Beltran and right. In tight again, 2-0.
You got him, pitch him in there. That's his weakness. He likes the ball out over the plate. But if you try too hard, now the count's 2-0. Now what? You have to come pitch him. You have to come pitch to him in his strength out over the plate.
It's like the catch-22. Everyone tells you he's so aggressive, he'll swing at anything. What if he doesn't?
Tied him up inside. 2-1. Here's the triple last night.
I've seen home run trots before, but I've never seen a triple trot.
And then he pulls into third, standing, celebrating before he gets there.
He really turned it on, though, right there close to second base. He was flying. He had to get to third.
The embarrassment factor came in.
2-1. Now 3 balls in the strike to the 22-year-old.
So he just expanded the strike zone on 2-0. So he's got to be thinking in his mind, okay, don't swing at that one again. But you don't want to have any of those negative thoughts. You want to trust yourself and say, I'm in a good hitter's count. Let me look for a pitch that I can hit. Let me turn it loose.
Ball 4 to Yasiel Puig.
That will get him some pitches to hit. If he shows that he's not going to swing at that pitch, eventually they're going to stop walking him. But you got to prove that you will take a walk.
And that is the first that he has drawn in this postseason. So runners at first and second now for Juan Uribe. Shattered his bat on a soft liner to throw back to first, just a hair late as Puig dives back in.
I'd be interested to see what the replay says, because from my angle up here, I thought they got him.
Number 17, A.J. Ellis.
Tough play. I thought his hand just got in there. Yeah.
You're right. And the umpire is right.
Teddy Barrett makes the call at first. And so the Dodgers still alive with runners at first and second. And here's A.J. Ellis. Great conversation we had with Don Mattingly today before the game. Just really getting into what's made A.J. Ellis the player he is now.
He's just a guy that when you first watched him play, you didn't think he could hit at this level. You didn't think he could catch at this level. But he said he just outworked everyone. He kept hanging around. He was the first guy every day to spring training, in the weight room, blocking balls, doing whatever it took to make himself a major league player. Mattingly sent him down, and A.J. Ellis said, "You're making a huge mistake." And he said that's when he kind of knew that Ellis believed that he belonged here.
Runners lead from first and second. And Ellis takes a strike on the inside corner, 1-1. Dodgers drafted him in 2003, put in 5 years in the minor leagues before making his debut in 08. One and two.
This is that running two-seamer up. It doesn't go down in the sink, but it still runs. You've got to be disciplined off a guy that has this sort of fastball in. You do not want to expand the strike zone in. And it seems like you could read A.J.'s mind thinking, come on now.
Upstairs, count even. 2-2.
We've watched Michael Wacha. We've watched Wainwright yesterday. Wherever Molina sits, that's exactly where the pitch is going to go, in that area. Not the same with Lance Lynn. He'll sit outside, and sometimes the ball goes inside.
He tried to go upstairs on that one. Didn't quite get it there. Good swing.
Ellis, a product of Dunbar High School in Lexington, Kentucky, where Sweet Lou Johnson went to school. One of the heroes of the 1965 World Series for the Dodgers. Low and away, count full, 3-2. So Ethier and Puig will get running starts on this pitch to A.J. Ellis. They are loaded for the pitcher, Ricky Nolasco.
It was interesting talking to Mike Matheny about Lance Lynn, and he said one thing: when he's good, he's aggressive. The only time he falters is when he cannot get the ball in the strike zone. He's trying to avoid contact. He should be the kind of pitcher that wants contact. He's broken 3 bats already.
Sometimes a pitcher with this two-seam bowling ball fastball doesn't know how really good it is.
Nolasco takes a strike with the Dodgers. He hit 150, was 3 for 20, knocked in a run, had a double. And he's trying to help his own cause here in the second, hitting with the bases loaded and 2 out. And he's behind in the count, 0-2.
We heard you talk about the aggressiveness. You decided, okay, I'll show you. Strike 1, strike 2.
A Dodger on every base here in the bottom of the second. And Lynn with the 0-2 outside. All in 2 strikes.
You know, all the base runners now on, especially at second base when you're going to try to score. You got 2 outs and 2 strikes. This is a time you can get the best jump. All you have to do is look and see if it's a strike at second base, or as soon as he starts to swing, you don't have to wait for contact to read. You can be off and running.
Strike 3 called to the Dodger pitcher. L.A. loads the bases, but the Dodgers do not score. We head to the 3rd. Tom Cruise among those on hand here at Dodger Stadium for Game 4 of the National League Championship Series. To get exclusive behind-the-scenes access and expert opinions from the biggest names in sports, check out Behind the Mic, powered by Ford, on BleacherReport.com/Behind the Mic. 8-9-1 here in the top of the third for the Cardinals, who have managed a walk through 2 innings off Ricky Nolasco. Molina drew that 1-out walk, and then Jay and Freese struck out to end the inning. Descalso gets the start in place of Pete Kozma tonight in Game 4. Into right field, first hit of the night for St. Louis.
Well, Mike Matheny's changing of the lineup works right away with that Daniel Descalso. It's a little changeup down and away, but he hits in the hole.
Kozma was 0 for 9 in the series. And Descalso picks up the hit here to lead off the third. And here's the pitcher, Lance Lynn, who laid down 11 sacrifice bunts in the regular season and lays that one down as well. We only played a first. 1 down as Descalso moves to second.
Ellis walking back. He was going to third to cover. Good hustle. Lance Lynn with perfect form for that sacrifice bunt.
And that's the right way to bunt it. Gonzalez has to hold the runner on first base. He's not as close as Uribe was. Uribe was forcing the action and trying to take it away from him.
So a runner in scoring position for the Cardinals here in the third, in the top of the order, in Matt Carpenter. He grounded to Gonzalez his first time. We've talked about the great regular season that Carpenter had, which will garner him some support for most valuable player in the National League, but been struggling here in the postseason. In tight, 2-0.
He really struggled in the first series. He's shown signs and actually driven the ball pretty well at times. Still not the numbers that he'd like, the numbers that you're used to.
Yeah, just 1 hit against the Pirates. He's had 2 in 12 trips, including a triple against the Dodgers. That ball stung to the gap. It is going to be cut off by Crawford, but it will score the game's first run. Matt Carpenter comes through, knocks in Descalso, and the Cardinals on top 1-0.
Right fielder number 3, Carlos Beltran.
Pretty good piece of hitting right there by Carpenter, Cal.
He had a bunch of doubles during the regular season, stays on this ball, drives it to the gap, and doesn't hesitate at all. Crawford doesn't have the best throwing arm. He was going to take 2 on that no matter what.
You're right. He was a doubles machine, 55 during the regular season.
Here's Carlos Beltran, who takes outside 1-0. So after being shut out in Game 3, the Cardinals on the board first here in Game 4. Beltran way out in front, ball and a strike.
Remember last night the Dodgers hadn't scored in 22 innings. Well, the Cardinals had their own 14-inning stretch going before that run.
Nolasco with a 1-1, which misses, 2 balls and a strike. Beltran leads the team in postseason RBIs with 9. Chevrolet pitch tracks. And you see how he's fared against Velasco. Numbers are solid. The 2-1. Again out in front, and the count even 2-2.
1-0 curveball, and then a 2-1 curveball. Both the times Beltran has been way out in front of that, hitting that one right off the end of the bat.
Carpenter with a lead at second. His double scored the game's first run. Beltran takes inside. Count full. The payoff pitch. Hit hard to second. Ellis gloves it. Throws him out for the second out. Carpenter moves to third.
That's one of those little plays that won't be talked about after a game, but outstanding job by Ellis getting to this ball, Cal.
He's made this play a number of times. Stabs at it, then has the presence of mind of knowing how far he has to range, and good footwork, turn around and throwing the ball out. Beltran, that was a funny pitch to me. You're out in front of the curveball, you know, and you're swinging at it. You're kind of tracking the curveball, and then you throw a harder breaking ball, almost like you're throwing into his speed. Lucky to get away with that.
Here's Holliday. That ball is driven to left, and it is long gone. Matt Holliday, hitless in the series, connects on a 2-run homer, and it's 3-0 Cardinals. He had been 0 for his last 22 in this ballpark. And he said enough of that.
I'm talking about,
It looks like a fastball that they just didn't quite get in far enough, and he went up there sitting all over it.
You know, we've watched previous games in this series. They've been pitching him inside. That's just a case of a veteran hitter looking in and getting that pitch.
And that ball went a long, long way.
Well, we had gone through 3 games in this series without a long ball, and it's the first time it had happened in the postseason since the 1948 World Series between the Boston Braves and the Cleveland Indians. But here in Game 4, Matt Holliday connects. It is 3-0 St. Louis. (1-1) to Matt Adams. 1-2. Holliday came in hitting .462 against Velasco with a couple of home runs. And he sent that ball deep to left.
I said momentum can change daily, hourly. How about on one pitch?
Don Mattingly's Dodgers in a 3-0 hole here in the third. And Velasco gets Adams to end the third. But not before Matt Holliday launched one to left. It's 3-0 St. Louis. Want to know the secrets of being a home run hitter? Tim Ferriss shows you how to knock it out of the park. Go to upwave.com/baseball. Matt Holliday, obviously a Tim Ferriss disciple, hitting a ball that just landed moments ago. Out of here to left.
In Pasadena it landed, I think. You know, we always talk about shutdown innings. We think it's really important because you want to get your team back in the dugout. Lance Lynn had an ERA of 6.67 in shutdown innings. That's the second worst in the National League.
And he faces the top of the Dodger order here in the third. He's got a 3-0 lead to work with in game 4. Popped up to short. Descalzo makes the play for out number 1.
Second baseman, number 14, Mark Ellis.
See what Adrian Gonzalez said as you see him in the dugout, just talking about the game of playoff baseball in general, that things that are supposed to happen rarely do. That the Dodgers were down 2-0 and facing Adam Wainwright, and what do? They go up and beat Wainwright to make it a 2-1 series. And then you look at what's going on in the American League over the last couple of games, and you saw the Detroit Tigers look this close to taking a 2-0 lead at Fenway, and they wind up losing that game on the Poppy Grand Slam, and Ellis is thrown out. Nice play by Adams at first, and then what happens today? They win 1-0 at Comerica. So they go from just about being down 2-0 in a series to leading the series 2-1.
Those games against the Tigers pitchers, they should just start them in the 5th because they know hit everyone through 5, or so it seems.
Well, here's Hanley Ramirez. And in his first at bat, we saw him grimace, playing with that sore left side from the hairline fracture of the 8th rib. Comes up empty there, 0-1. And quickly Lance Lynn ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. The Dodgers loaded the bases in the second. The only hit coming from Andre Ethier. There were a couple of walks in there, and then Velasco called out on strikes. Another look here at Hanley Ramirez. And he stays alive, 0-2.
He's been awful aggressive. It doesn't take away his aggressiveness. Swung at a fastball, and swung at a breaking ball a little bit out in front. And extending, does turn your rib cage.
Bounces away, a ball and 2 strikes. I always feel funny talking about injuries and players playing, or pain, and that when you're sitting next to Iron Man. It's only a broken leg. I can go, Skip.
Yeah, that didn't mean I didn't play with pain. It wasn't broken every once in a while. I think it's a hard game. You play it every single day. All those players down there have nagging injuries.
Strike 3, ball hops away from Molina, who applies the tag. 1-2-3 inning for Lance Lynn. That is a shutdown inning. We welcome you back. Core Performers brought to you by iShares by BlackRock. Starters for the Dodgers in this series. Pretty darn good, Ron.
Well, they get better every day. 2 runs by Greinke, 1 by Kershaw, and none yesterday by Ryu. But Cardinals starters have been pretty good also.
Molina hits the first pitch from Nolasco to center field, and Ethier at the edge of the track makes the play, 1 down. So you saw those numbers from the first 3 games, but here tonight, a 3-run third against Ricky Nolasco has the Cardinals on top as they take aim at a 3-1 series lead. With Game 5, a day game here at Dodger Stadium tomorrow. Here's John Jay, struck out his first time. No balls and 2 strikes to the Cardinal center fielder.
You know, that inning was started by a base hit and then a sacrifice bunt. Normally during the regular season, you're not going to sacrifice bunt because you're going to play for one run early. But in the playoffs, I think it changes everything when somebody gets in scoring position. Pitcher's a little bit more careful, defense a little bit more uptight, and that produced a 3 spot. We haven't seen that in the series yet.
The biggest explosion offensively from either side. The other way and over there by the line and just foul. Jay kind of hit it off the thumbs down there, but it drifted foul. And Mark Carlson right on top of it.
It's a hard call because he's got to watch the flight of it and then spin around 180 degrees and then catch the ball with his eyes again.
The 1-2. Fouled off at the plate. Nolasco beat the Cardinals as a member of both the Marlins and the Dodgers. The strikeout completed there. 2-3. Second time that Jay has gone down on strikes.
Sometimes Nolasco will change speeds on his curveball. That's when he takes a little bit off. And John Jay is ahead of it.
Just for comparison purposes, Greinke sometimes will take it off down into the 60s. He'll throw it around 72, but it is a change of speed along with a big break.
So 2 up and 2 down here in the 4th for David Freese. Checked his swing, a ball and a strike.
A couple more breaking balls. It's good if you add up the first 2 at bats. It's pretty much the book right now. Looks like David wants to hit a fastball. They don't want to throw it. As a hitter, sometimes you're going to convince yourself, okay, I know I'm ahead now, and they might throw me a fastball. Sometimes it's good to be stubborn and stay sitting on a breaking ball. And here comes the breaking ball.
Freese swung right through it, 2-2.
Nolasco, when he was with the Marlins, he was their career leader in wins, strikeouts, before being traded over here on July 6th.
The 2-2. Fly ball center field. Ethier drifting back. And that is a 1-2-3 inning for Nolasco. 2013 National League Championship Series coverage on TBS presented by the Venture Card from 2014. Players, celebrities, concerts, and much, much more. You can be part of next season's team. Go to MLBFanCave.com and apply right now. Bottom 4. Adrian Gonzalez leads it off against Lance Lynn. Had a healthy cut. Missed it. 0-1. Gonzalez flied to left his first time. Line to right. Base hit. Heading toward the corner. Beltran will play it off the wall. A stand-up double to lead off the 4th. And there again is the celebration by Gonzalez at second. The one that irked Wainwright last night. Moments ago, we spoke with Cardinals manager Mike Matheny. Mike Matheny, the 3rd inning standing out here. It's the biggest offensive explosion of the series, and it came from your guys. Had to feel good.
Yeah, it was. You know, it's a matter of just getting something started. Daniel Descalzo being able to get on base and doing the little things right, like we've been able to do all year and get the bunts down. It turns into something big when you get a big hit by Carpenter and then watching Holiday do what he does best.
Except for the 1 inning, Lance Lynn has been pretty aggressive so far.
Yeah, you know, and even in that inning, he was just trying to pitch smart, trying to pitch out of situations that might get himself in trouble and put himself in a little bit of heat, but was able to make pitches and finish it off.
Our appreciation, as always, to the managers. Mike Matheny joining us moments ago. Here's Ethier with a runner at second and nobody out. He singled his first time. Just his second hit of this series. Inside, a ball and a strike. Dodgers had traffic in the second. Loaded the bases but didn't score. They get a leadoff double here in the 4th. Ball and 2 strikes. Another look at the double by Gonzalez. Looking very much like the run-scoring double last night.
He hit that one more on the barrel of the bat. Took a big swing at a fastball, and then I think he said, okay, maybe I scared you off the fastball. Let me look for the breaking ball.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
You know, when you're down 3-0, you're not going to say, okay, let me just hit a productive out to second base because you're giving up an out. But you also got 2 strikes. You want to put the ball in play. You want to try to drive the run in. And it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to get him over to third base so you can get on the board.
If that's the hitter's mindset, what's the pitcher's mindset? You've got a 3-0 lead to work with.
Well, I think you've got the advantage here. I think you want to get the punch out if you can.
3-2.
You don't want him to advance the runner, but you take an out anytime in this situation with a 3-run lead.
Well, a walk would be the worst thing.
Yeah.
But a walk it is, and they're at first and second with nobody out.
Great job by Ethier. He swung at that pitch earlier in the at-bat, but able to lay off at 3-2.
Ethier led the Dodgers in the regular season with 61 walks. And that 3 pass has Dodgers at first and second, nobody out for Yasiel Puig, who walked his first time. And for Puig, that was his first walk of the postseason.
Well, he was very patient in his first at-bat, but he's a very aggressive player. 9 home runs and a .551 average on the first pitch.
Spun his cap. 1-0.
Mattingly tell him, calm down.
Again, they're going to pound in. This isn't intentional just to send a message. They're trying to make sure the ball gets in, and it just rides and gets away. Puig's reaction, though, is, maybe it was intentional.
Well, we've seen Lance Lynn miss inside 3 or 4 times already. You know, this is a young man that did take a fastball off the tip of his nose earlier this year.
From Ian Kennedy. Puig steps back in as Molina takes a leisurely stroll to the mound.
Well, he's like, if the umpire is not going to make him get in the box, then I'll take my time also. I think he's trying to diffuse some of this that Puig has instigated. To the Cardinals, it's got to be so, I don't know, it's got to be so, just do not like it. It's about an irritant if you're the Cardinals. But Puig gets them going, gets the crowd going.
I think you're exactly right. Molina senses that the crowd was in there, and then he's waiting and waiting and waiting. He says, okay, I'll start to diffuse this crowd.
I could play that game too. Molina's response.
Now Puig, he's got to get himself together. Sometimes that pitch up and in can act as a wake-up call, and your focus becomes better. But he still needs to think, what do I want to do? What pitch do I want to look for? And still maintain his concentration. Don't let that pitch take him out of his focus.
Ready now for the 1-0. On the corner, 1-1.
And that's pitched right into his strength. He looks for the fastball out over the plate. And even as a hitter, you can convince yourself, hey, he threw in there. He's not going to want to do that again. He doesn't want to miss in there again, so let me look out over the plate.
Well, Molina called 2 pitches in, but he cross-fired and threw them on the other part of the plate.
And those 2 indicators says, okay, he's worried about running the ball in there too far.
Breaking pitch over, 2-2.
So your options then become, let me go to the breaking ball, let me go away. Molina went with the breaking ball and froze Puig right here. Starts inside, breaks back over the plate.
Gonzalez at second, Ethier at first. Puig waiting on a 2-2 and time called by Bruce Dreckman. And now Puig steps out as Lynn steps off.
Well, pitch is fastball in, if you can command it. Fastball up, chase him out of the strike zone, or drop the breaking ball on him. Let's see which one he chooses.
In the dirt, 3-2.
We saw the Cardinals as a short leash for a starting pitcher when you have the lead and you get in trouble. Managers do not like to let these leads slip away.
Lynn picking up the win in game 1. 2 innings out of the bullpen in that 13-inning game. He pitches in the 4th now with 2 on and none out. On the ground and into left center field for a base hit. That'll get the Dodgers on the board. Gonzalez scores and it's 3-1. Cardinals pitching coach Derek Lilliquist making a visit.
Yeah, the 3-2 breaking ball. The only difference is now he has to throw it for a strike. Lays it over the middle of the plate, and Puig gets a hard ground ball up the middle. Easily scores Gonzalez. And if Ethier was running better, maybe there's a potential 1st and 3rd. But still now 1st and 2nd, no outs.
So Puig knocks in a run for the 2nd straight night, and it's 3-1 and still nobody out. And Juan Uribe steps in.
Wagner, the defense, has got to think for a second, okay, will they bunt here? Would they go first and second and kind of advance the runners? I don't think so. Uribe's got some big hits for him. They're going to let him try to drive the run in.
In the air to right field. Beltran at the track makes the catch. Ethier tags and moves over to third.
Uribe just missed this pitch.
Yeah, fastball out over the plate. He drives it. It turns out to be a productive out. I was kind of surprised that Puig didn't go back to first and at least look at how the throw's coming in to tag up.
You mean he showed discipline?
So runners at first and third now for A.J. Ellis. Skip Schumacher has grabbed the bat. He would pinch hit for Ricky Nolasco. Ellis walked his first time. Fouls it in the booth right next to us.
That had to get Schmitty, our cameraman.
I can see how somebody gets hit up here now.
Right?
Because you're watching the monitor and all of a sudden things zooms by.
First and third, one out. One run in for the Dodgers here in the fourth. And the 0-1 to Ellis. Lined up the middle, base hit. It's a 3-2 game. Right on the screws by Ellis.
A sinker trying to get a double play ball, but leaves it out over the plate. Not much sink to this one, and he drives it straight up the middle. Good piece of hitting.
So here's Skip Schumacher to pinch hit for Ricky Nolasco.
He hasn't made a good pitch inside since he went up and into Puig.
Look out. A bullet right toward the Dodger dugout that bounced out to the infield.
It's almost like the fastball he threw up and in to Puig unsettled Lynn, not Puig.
Tying run at second. That's Puig. Ellis, after the RBI single, leads from first. Grounded up the middle. Descalso takes it himself, and that completes the double play. But the Dodgers score twice in the fourth. One-run game as we head to the fifth. 4 innings in the books in Game 4 of the National League Championship Series. Either the Dodgers will tie this series at 2 games apiece, or the Cardinals will move to the brink of advancing to the World Series. And we move to the 5th inning. Chris Withrow on in relief of Ricky Nolasco.
Well, Withrow got the loss in the extra inning game. He went an inning and a third and gave up a run. So far in the postseason, it's been tough for Withrow. A couple of innings and 3 runs.
Good strikeout stuff, though.
The runners belong to him. Jansen came on and gave up the single to Beltran that scored the winning run. Here's Descalzo to lead off the 5th. Takes outside 1-0. St. Louis with 3 in the 3rd. The big blow, a 2-run homer by Matt Holliday. Ball and a strike, and then the Dodgers answered in the bottom half of the 4th with 2 of their own. Descalzo's the guy who started the rally in the 3rd. 2-1. Two balls, 2 strikes.
Well, Withrow's had a long time to think about being in this game, because once Nolasco got in trouble, there was a chance that he would pinch hit for him in that point. So he had a lot of time to think about it. If it had been earlier in the game, we might have seen Edinson Volquez, because he's really the long man. But getting through 4 innings gets him to a reliever who's been in the pen most of the year.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Descalzo, valuable member of this team, can play around the infield, and he and Cosma were kind of sharing time in September, and then Cosma caught fire a little bit, earned the starts late in the year and into the postseason, but he was 0 for 9 in this series, and in this game, Mike Matheny pulling the trigger on that move, and it's paid off so far. Single and a run scored for Descalzo. He strikes out here to start the 5th. Moments ago, we spoke with Dodger manager Don Mattingly. Hey, Don, we've seen in the course of the game so far a lot of discussions with you and the training staff. Is Hanley good?
Not as good as last night. He's feeling a little something. I think we're seeing at the plate. Looks, for me, a little bit back-sided. When guys can really hit, they're going to use that front side. He looks like he's kind of favoring going to the backside. He says he's okay. We'll keep hanging in there with him. See where we're at.
Hey, Donnie, good answer to the 3-run in the top of that third inning. Feels good to get the crowd back in, huh?
It does, to get back in, and I think we get Ricky through 4. He gives us, keeps us in a little bit. We get back in, so now it's a matter of throwing some zeros. We got the momentum back just a little bit on our side.
Thanks to Don Mattingly for his time moments ago, and so Nolasco does go 4. And Chris Withrow on a relief here in the 5th. Strike 2 to the pitcher, Lance Lynn. Two down low as A.J. Ellis is ready to throw that ball around the horn.
Ellis is saying now to Bruce Druckman, my bad. I didn't mean to do that, but I thought it was a strike.
I think he should say to A.J. Ellis, my bad. That was a good pitch.
I think his bad for showing him up.
I know.
That was a what? 2-2. And now the count full to the Cardinal pitcher. Ronnie, does that mess with you when you don't get a call you think you should have had?
Well, it might mess with you a little bit, but the pitcher's up, and Lance Lynn is not a good hitter. Just fire a fastball down the middle.
Simple as that. Here we go. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And ball 4 goes all the way to the screen. So Lynn draws the 1-out walk.
Second baseman, number 13, Matt Carpenter.
I asked both managers about momentum today. I'm always curious how they see what momentum is. And they both talked about gaining the momentum for their team. And mostly it's an attitude. It's a positive force that you can feel. I'll call it more confidence. But if you feel you can do it, if you feel you're in the game, there's a better chance to do it.
Now the top of the St. Louis order, and Matt Carpenter. 1 for 2. He doubled in the 3rd. That double scored Descalzo, and then Carpenter would score in front of Holiday on the 2-run homer.
That's something that in the postseason just can't happen. You can't walk the pitcher. I know he might have missed the call there, but still had 2 more opportunities to throw a strike. Now you've turned the lineup over. You got Carpenter, Beltran, and others.
No balls and 2 strikes to Carpenter.
We saw just a minute ago, Gonzalez is playing behind Lynn. Gives him a little bit more chance to react to a ball hit down to him. And there's really no threat for Lynn to steal here. But he's staying close enough just to remind him, hey, I'm not going to give you a free starting run.
Carpenter had 199 hits this season. 95 of them came with 2 strikes. Led the majors.
And he waits on an 0-2 here from Withrow. Slapped into left. Crawford right there, 2 down. That ball hung up and Crawford made the play. The end of the game is just the start of the story. Unguarded with Rachel Nichols premieres Friday night, October 25th, 10:30 Eastern and Pacific on CNN. Here's Carlos Beltran. Fouled out to 3rd and grounded out to 2nd. Tied him up, strike 1, and the ball bounces away from Ellis. And Lynn trots down to 2nd.
Well, another good curveball. Looked like Beltran was just sitting on fastball, is going to try to get the head out and way ahead of this curveball.
Can turn out to be a big play. It's in the dirt, doesn't block it. Now you have another guy in scoring position.
Wild pitch. Charge to Withrow and has the runner in scoring position with 2 out. Beltran leads the Cardinals with 9 postseason runs batted in. Oh, 0-2.
Curveball, little slider or cutter.
Withrow trying to work his way around a walk to the pitcher. And away, a ball and 2 strikes.
Missed his location a few times here, especially with the fastball. Off Carpenter, he wanted to go up with the fastball to finish him off. He left it in the strike zone for a line out to left. That time he was trying to go in and missed all the way across the plate.
So a purpose pitch that had no purpose.
the count, even 2 balls and 2 strikes. Clayton Kershaw waiting for his next opportunity, hoping that there's a game 6. Three and 2.
It's an attempt at a backdoor breaking ball, backdoor slider. Just doesn't bring it back to the outside corner enough.
The payoff. Fouled right into the hands of Matt Holliday in the on-deck circle.
Just called the balk on Withrow.
And Lynn moves to third. Greg Gibson made the call.
Well, he was getting the signs from A.J. Ellis, and at one point he wanted to step off, but it was a little bit of a fumble. See, the arm came down to get the ball into the glove, and then he stopped to put it back. Just indecision on what pitch to throw. These are the little mistakes that happen in postseason by sometimes younger players. You know, a balk, probably didn't balk all season long. The walk of the pitcher, something that shouldn't happen.
That gets back to the question I asked you. How much of this comes back to, I thought I had the guy struck out?
At this level, it shouldn't, especially when you're facing the pitcher.
But this could enter into the pitch selection right here now.
Yeah.
Now the wild pitch can score a run from third. He has a good curveball. He does bury it in the dirt, but now there's a risk.
3 and 2.
Coming into the fastball.
And he missed. They're at the corners with 2 out. That brings up Matt Holliday, who in the 3rd inning put this thing way out into the Dodger bullpen and left. Now Rick Honeycutt, the Dodger pitching coach, out there to talk to Withrow.
Well, for a young pitcher, he's going to be pretty tight right now. He knows it's a big inning. He's got to put a 0 up there. He's got 2 outs. So really, it's just Honey assuring him, Rick Honeycutt giving him assurances, trying to boost his confidence. You can do it, big fella.
So he didn't call him Honey?
Yeah, no. I know him as Honey, Rick Honeycutt.
I was wondering if that was more mechanical, maybe to fix something, or just to give him a little blow and kind of talk about pitch selection.
2 walks, a wild pitch, and a balk here in the 5th.
And that's a moth in the ear right there. Doesn't feel good when something flies into your ear when you're in the batter's box.
Runners lead from 1st and 3rd. Holliday takes outside 1-0.
You saw that long home run by Holliday to left field, but he's got power to all fields.
Strike 1 to Holliday. Tried to hold up. Ted Barrett said he went.
So backup slider. Could not hold up enough.
'25th pitch of the inning for Withrow. Grounded to third. Uribe will go to second for the force. And Withrow gets out of it. We move to the bottom half of the 5th inning in Game 4 in Los Angeles. Tonight's innovative stat brought to you by Nissan. See the run support for Lance Lynn. You'd take 5.2, wouldn't you, Ronnie?
Anytime. Beautiful. Pitchers always say, you got to be pitching on the right day. He was pitching on the right day.
He's got 3 runs of support tonight. He leads 3-2 as we play now in the bottom half of the 5th inning, and it's the top of the Dodger order and Carl Crawford. Hit hard and into center field for a leadoff single by Carl Crawford. And a couple of times tonight that Descalso with a dive just missed.
Drives this ball through the infield. You got to play him a little more shallow because he has speed in the infield. And sometimes you can pass the infielder with the ball. Otherwise, he'd have a better angle if he was back a step or two.
So the tying run aboard here in the 5th, and here's Mark Ellis, who takes a strike 0-1.
This is one of the few hit and run guys they do have on this team. He handles the bat really well, likes to hit and run. They don't do it often, but here's a situation that they could.
Missed outside, a ball and a strike. Both Crawford and Ellis looking down at Tim Wallach, Dodger third base coach.
1-1 count is not your conventional hit and run count. Usually 1-0, 2-1, sometimes on the first pitch.
Upstairs, 2-1.
Small problem with hit and running against Lance Lynn. His control can be a little erratic, so you don't know if you're going to get that perfect pitch when he's behind in the count.
Fastball away. Good pitch to hit over there.
2-1 is over. Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Crawford stole 15 bags in 19 tries in the regular season. Ellis at the plate, Hanley Ramirez on deck. And Ellis wants time.
Crawford's a perfect 9 for 9 in postseason steals. So sometimes when it's the hardest to get a steal, he's still good at it.
The biggest problem Crawford has, the young man behind the plate, swatting behind the plate, Molina.
2-2. Little pop-up in the infield that Carpenter catches for the first out.
It looked like he almost thought about letting this ball bounce one time. And the reason you would do that, you could replace the runners. All of a sudden force out Crawford at second base. It's a risk in the dirt because the ball could hit something and kick away from you. It's not as much of a risk if it lands in the grass. But I think he thought about it just for a split second.
And then his wits got him. And he said, wait a minute, it's the 4th game of the NLCS. Okay, I think I'll put this one away.
So Crawford still at first, and here is Ramirez, who struck out twice. And you heard Don Mattingly tell us, we asked about his health, not as good as he was last night.
I'm sure he had a good shot of adrenaline flowing last night that carried him through. And then wakes up today and feels a little bit worse than it did the day before. But I'm glad he's in there. His presence in the lineup really makes a difference.
Quickly, Lynn ahead 0-2.
He contributed on 2 runs last night, too, moving one over with a productive fly out to right field and then driving in another one.
Crawford edging away from first, and strike 3 called to Ramirez.
Well, I was mentioning that the control of Lynn can be erratic at times. It wasn't erratic there. 3 pitches right on the corner.
Went right after him for the second out. And that brings up Adrian Gonzalez with a man on and 2 down.
It's only the playoffs.
No overstating the importance of Yadier Molina with this pitching staff in St. Louis.
It's very interesting. When he goes to speak to the pitchers on this staff, it's a one-way conversation. Usually pitchers are saying some words. It's not with Molina. He's doing all the talking.
Adrian usually has a plan. After hitting the breaking ball for a double last time up, he'll be sitting on a fastball.
In the air to left center field. Jay over and calling, and makes the play. how pretty is that, huh? Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires for superior performance inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. We're zipping right along here at Dodger Stadium in Game 4 of the NLCS. And we move to the top half of the 6th inning. Matt Adams, the cleanup hitter, will lead it off. He's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. And Chris Withrow goes to work in his 2nd inning of relief. Adams takes a strike on the corner, 0-1.
You can see the big shift that they have on him. Mark Ellis is way out in shallow right center field. And Hanley is on the second base side right now. I did finally find out sometimes Hanley will switch with Uribe because Hanley likes to look from the shortstop side, and Uribe's played some second. And so that angle over there, sometimes they will switch in this shift. Not tonight.
Stayed high, 2 balls and a strike. Adams, the Cardinals minor league player of the year in 2011, went to Slippery Rock for his college ball. And this ball hit into the shift. Ellis right there with the backhand and gets him by a step. All that advanced scouting pays off on a 4-3 ground out.
The shift doesn't always work, but being that deep gives him a chance, a little more time to cover more ground. The shift works this time.
You know, he's a Matt Adams is a rookie. Doesn't have a lot of body of work, but he's going to spend his entire career on ground balls to the right side. Very few of them are going to be base hits.
Here's Yadier Molina. Walked his first time. Flied out to center in the 4th. Low and away, 1-0.
Chris Withrow sure does have a live arm.
Molina takes again, 2-0. Finished 4th in hitting in the National League behind Michael Kadire and Chris Johnson and Freddie Freeman. Off the corner inside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Molina's getting better as a hitter the last 3 years. 2011, 305. Last year, 315 and 319 this year. His brother Benji made himself a better hitter at the end of his career also.
2-2. Benji's one of the hitting coaches here for the Cardinals, and Yadier, the youngest of the flying Molina brother catching trio. And at 31, Jose still in Tampa Bay at 38. Benji's 39. And the count full.
You know, he hasn't got himself going, but he looks awful hitterish to me right now. Taking the pitches inside, seeing the ball really well.
Love that term.
Hitterish. He flew out to center field on his last at bat. Just got out on it just a bit.
Had a good cut at the 3-2. We'll do it again. And Molina works a 1-out walk. Be the first to know the latest news on all your teams with Bleacher Report's Team Stream app. Stay one step ahead. Check out Team Stream on your phone's app store today. So one out and a man on for John Jay, who has struck out twice. Both of those against Ricky Nolasco, the Dodgers starter. With throw outside, 1-0. Rick Honeycutt, you saw him on the phone, and you can see activity now beginning in the Dodger bullpen as A.J. Ellis goes out to have a word with Withrow.
Yeah, I think the signal came from the dugout right there. Go talk to him. Meaning give him a few more seconds or maybe a minute. Start getting someone loose. How long does it take you to get ready in the pen?
Well, it depends on the pitchers. All the pitchers are different. If you're asking for the long man, Edison Volquez, you probably have to give him a whole half inning to get ready. A guy like J.P. Howell's had some injuries. It's going to take him a little more than another pitcher. But there's some guys that can get ready on 15 pitches, and they're ready to go. But everyone is different. And I think as a pitching coach or a manager, you've got to know that when you signal down for who you want to get up, as Rick Honeycutt goes out to the mound again.
Yeah, this looks like a well-designed stall tactic.
Well, when they talk about time of game, this is one of the things that I don't know if they're ever going to be able to change it, because it's been part of the game for so long.
Generally, the umpire kind of recognizes it, and he'll force the action, move them along.
And that is what Bruce Dreckman is doing right now. Withrow working in his second inning of relief of Nolasco. Had a couple of base runners in the fifth, both via walk, one the pitcher. And he's walked Molina here in the sixth. A 1-0 to Jay. Over for a strike. Count even. Playing with fire with those bases on balls out of the pen. 3 of them in an inning and a third.
Back to that power cutter or that slider.
Runner going. And they're going to call interference. Jay is going to be awarded first base. Molina moves up to second on catcher's interference.
People always want to blame that on the catcher, A.J. Ellis, but what it was there is Jay just waited so long on that pitch and really just swung late and straight down onto the glove of Ellis.
Pretty sure it's a hit and run right here. This isn't a steal. This isn't a jump. Molina looks in. Jay's attempt at this ball is a hit and run. Happened to catch the outside of the catcher's glove. A.J. reached out there a little too soon.
So now runners at first and second with 1 out for David Freese. In tight, almost nipped him. 1-0.
Yeah, we talked about different counts when you would hit and run. That was on a 1-on-1 count. I thought they might do it if all at 1-0. But once the count went to 1-1, they put it on.
You can see the trainer trying to find out if Hanley's all right. Didn't seem like he was.
That missed. 2 balls and no strikes.
Up or down, yes or no, good or not?
Looks like he said he's good.
Runners lead from first and second. Freeze ahead 2-0. And now 3 balls and no strikes. Taking all the way, 3 balls and a strike.
Well, they're trying to find out if he's good or bad, because if they decide to take Withrow out, they might take him out with a double switch. When you get in these counts, you're just trying to make David Freese a postseason hero again.
On the ground to third, Uribe to second for 1 to first. Double play! How big was that? 5-4-3 and they get out of the inning. Uribe, Ellis, Gonzalez for 2. Scoring opportunity missed in the top half of the 6th by the Cardinals. And now the Dodgers come to the plate, trailing 3-2. And Andre Ethier takes a strike. He has singled and walked and scored one of the 2 Dodger runs. Pete Kozma into the game at short. And Daniel Descalzo moves from short to third. David Freese out. Lance Lynn working here in the 6th. Gave up those 2 Dodger runs in the 4th. A line drive just past Davey Lopes, the Dodgers' legendary first base coach. Stan Conte of the Dodgers medical staff talking to Hanley Ramirez between innings, and you saw him on the top step with the thumbs up, thumbs down during that top half of the 6th.
It looks like it's thumbs down now.
into left field. And Holiday had to reach at the last second and make the play. One down.
Eerily similar to a play that Holiday had against the Dodgers in the postseason years ago. Better swing by Ethier, and the play made by Holiday. Frustration there for Andre.
Well, here's Yasiel Puig. He's been on both times. A walk in the second, single, and an RBI in the fourth. And there is a broken bat, base hit to center. As usual, the wide, aggressive turn at first, and then Puig retreats to first.
Third baseman number 5, Juan Uribe.
With one out here in the sixth and a runner on, Mike Matheny is going to make a move. He gets 5 1/3 out of his starter, Lance Lynn. In the sixth. Back with more. '13 National League Championship Series coverage on TBS is presented by the Venture Card from Capital One. Here at Dodger Stadium, bottom half of the sixth inning in Game 4, and the Cardinals lead it 3-2. They lead the series 2-1. And Juan Uribe will face Seth Maness out of his St. Louis pen.
He faced 2 hitters last night's game. Mark Ellis, Hanley Ramirez gave up a hit to both.
Puig, the runner at first. Uribe takes down low, 1-0.
Maness is brought in because he is a double play machine, 16 during the regular season.
There's a strike, 1-1.
Looks like some real late sink to it.
Puig back on his stomach. Ball and a strike. the ground to short. Nice backhand play by Kozma. There's one. There's two. Spectacular double play. Kozma to Carpenter to Holiday. And that ends the sixth. Kozma just into the game. And Carpenter makes the turn. Sixth, and this one by the Cardinals was a beauty on a hot shot to Kozma.
Yeah, the hard part, I think, was catching that. And once he caught it, delivered a nice throw, and Carpenter, with Puig all over his feet, makes a tough turn. Nice double play.
They have said Holiday on the receiving end. Adams, obviously, on the receiving end at first. And Descalso, leading it off in the seventh, takes a strike from J.P. Howell. He's ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. The night is over for Hanley Ramirez. Nick Punto in and short for the Dodgers. So a lot of questions about how Ramirez was feeling. And Don Mattingly telling us during the game that he wasn't as good as he was the previous game. There was a lot of back and forth from Ramirez in the field to the Dodger dugout. Thumbs up, thumbs down. And ultimately now in the seventh, thumbs down. His night is through. J.P. Howell with a 1-2 to Descalso. Tried to check. And Jerry Davis down at third said he did not go. 2-2.
for the day game tomorrow, you would think that Mattingly probably not going to have Ramirez in that lineup.
That's an awful quick turnaround. Descalso goes down swinging for the first out.
Well, Howell's got 2 1/3 now. He hasn't allowed a run, hasn't only allowed 1 hit, and he has a great assortment of pitches. He turns it over. He's got a big curve. He'll slide it, cut it, do whatever it takes to make it move.
Shane Robinson's going to pinch hit here in the 7th.
He's very effective at getting people out of the strike zone.
See Howell, as he does so often when he gets in that game, doing the toe touching and putting the glove on the ground. Throws outside to Robinson. That's the second at bat of the series for Robinson. Got a hold of that one pretty well to left. Carl Crawford going back at the track, and that ball is gone. Shane Robinson with a lightning bolt, a solo homer off the Cardinal bench, and it's a 2-run lead.
Just gets a little change up in the strike zone. It just hits right in the top of the fence and bounces over. Crawford was playing him pretty shallow, so that's why it took him so long to get back to that fence.
Here's Matt Carpenter. Boy, that's a stunner. 2 home runs in the regular season. Played in 99 games. And he delivers here in the 7th. And the lead is 4-2. Fouled off at the plate, 0-2.
Even if he gets back to the fence, I don't think he has a play. It's a high fence. It's on the backside of the pad. What a big home run.
Unlikely home run.
In a series that had had no home runs through 3 games, one comes from an expected source, Matt Holliday in this game, and other comes from Shane Robinson off the bench, pinch hitting here in the 7th. Took a while, but they have thrown that home run ball by Shane Robinson back. He'd probably like it for the mantle. Only 5'9", 165 is Shane Robinson. But he muscled that one out. That pitch inside, 2-2. Robinson's the guy we told you about the other night, who in 2011 had that collision with a teammate in the outfield playing minor league ball and broke a finger, broke his cheekbone, lost 25 pounds, was down to 140. That's inside, 3-2.
When you looked at the bench of the St. Louis Cardinals before the series, you said to yourself, it's not a lot of pop on that bench. More, Colton Wong's on that bench, etc. But Shane Robinson proves me wrong.
Carpenter goes down swinging. Second out of the 7th. Here's Mike Matheny's reaction to the long ball by Shane Robinson.
Right fielder, number 3, Carlos Beltran.
So 2 down, nobody on, a run in, and here's Beltran.
in this series. Runs are hard to come by. The 2-run lead seems to be enormous.
Up and away to Beltran, 2 balls and no strikes. He's 0 for 2 tonight with a walk, just 2 for 13 in the series.
Sometimes as a manager, every button you push works out. Matheny puts Descalso in the lineup for Cosma. He gets a hit and a run scored. He puts Cosma in for defense. He turns a great double play. And now Shane Robinson, as a pinch hitter, hits a home run.
4-pitch walk to Beltran with 2 down. Robinson, another homegrown talent of the St. Louis Cardinals, who was drafted in 2006 and made his big league debut 3 years later, and has the biggest moment of his big league life tonight in Game 4. Now here's Holiday. Had a home run cut, came up empty. He did go deep in the 3rd. When the Cardinals scored 3 times, it was a 2-run homer. Deep into the Dodger bullpen. No balls and 2 strikes. An uneasy feeling descending over Chavez Ravine.
Looked like Shane was looking for his glove over there.
They have put him in defensively late in games when they have the lead from Matt Holliday, who's up now with 2 outs.
Two in the dirt and blocked by A.J. Ellis. Game 5 of this series on Wednesday afternoon. Will it be Cardinals with a 3-1 lead, or will the Dodgers rally here late to tie the series? We know Zach Greinke and Joe Kelly will go head-to-head tomorrow. Just as Howell ready to deliver, time called by home plate umpire Bruce Dreckman. Up the middle and through for a base hit. Beltran rounds second and will stay right there. So they're at first and second with 2 down. Here's a look at our Liberty Mutual pitcher comparison as we look ahead to Game 5.
For Joe Kelly, it was more of a struggle in that Game 1, but he got through it. For Greinke, it was a pretty dominating performance except for 1 inning where he gave up the 2 runs.
Had a walk and just made a mistake. 3-1 changeup to Beltran.
There's Joe Kelly.
He admitted it was nerves a little bit early. Couldn't calm himself, but hung in there.
Rick Honeycutt's meeting with J.P. Howell over. Runners at first and second with 2 out. The inning began with a strikeout of Descalso, and then Shane Robinson, coming on to pinch hit, had been 0 for 10 in his career in the postseason, and he went deep, which extended the lead to 4-2. Carpenter struck out, Beltran walked, Holiday singled, and here's Matt Adams.
Can't get the call at the bottom of the strike zone there. Looks like he wanted it.
They cut 1-1. Adams is 0 for 3 and 1 for 13 in the series. He grounded one into the shift his last time. Ellis threw him out from shallow right field. One and 2.
Not as extreme of a shift right now. Puto is on the shortstop side of second base, doing his best to keep Beltran from getting a good secondary lead. Big hole more towards right center field.
Howell gets him swinging. That ends the 7th. An inning highlighted by this. Shane Robinson, solo pinch hit homer. It's 4-2.
As we go to the bottom of the 7th, it's time for the Bank of America game break. In the American League Championship Series, Mike Napoli's 7th inning home run off Justin Verlander holds up as the only run of the game. Verlander struck out 10, but picked up the loss. John Lackey gets the win. The Tigers shut out by the Red Sox. Game 4 tomorrow night on Fox. DJ.
All right, thank you very much, Craig. Bottom of the 7th here in Los Angeles. And the Dodgers come to the plate trailing 4-2. Shane Robinson, who hit the pinch hit home run in the top half of the inning, stays in the game, replacing Matt Holliday in left. And Carlos Martinez, another one of those young power arms out of the St. Louis pen.
Well, he's become a big part of the bullpen now. He's pitching in his 3rd game of these 4.
He will face A.J. Ellis to lead off the bottom half of the 7th. Lance Lynn started, went 5 1/3. Seth Maness came on, got an inning-ending double play out of Juan Uribe to end the 6th. Ellis takes a strike, 1-1.
Just comes out throwing 99 like it's nothing.
With movement, too.
Popped him up. Adams over there is called off. And Carpenter squeezes it for the first out.
Number 7, Nick Punto.
Martinez, 22 years old, and a young 22, just had a birthday in September. Made his big league debut this year. He came up through the ranks. He struck out 26% of the hitters he faced. Here's Nick Punto. Came into the game when Hanley Ramirez couldn't continue. Hits that ball pretty well to center. And that's going to be over the head of Jay and off the wall. Punto into second with a stand-up double.
And center fielder John Jay playing so shallow, defying Punto to hit it over his head. He did.
And not even close either. Normally Jay plays a pretty deep center field. But with Punto at the plate, came in a little shallower to take those hits away from him, got burned over his head.
So a one-out double, and here's the top of the Dodger order, Carl Crawford. He's 1 for 3. Look out, they're going to try to pick him off, and they got him! Martinez wheeled and hit Cosma, who laid the tag on Punto for the second out.
That was no play on. That was just reaction from Cosma and Martinez. Cosma blocking the bag.
What you call might call a daylight play. Nick was jumping out there. I'm not sure why. He's 2 runs down. That's a big pickoff at second base.
Never has a run from second base back into the Dodgers dugout been so long.
I saw a base running mistake by the Cardinals yesterday or last night. Took them out of the inning.
Adams, good play at first. Crawford retired. 7 innings in the books. And the lead for the Cardinals remains 2. Here's a look at our BMW clear advantage. The hit chart for Yadier Molina, who leads it off here in the 8th. And Ronald Belisario on in relief, misses with the first one.
We talked about him already. When he comes in, he's got a good hard sinker and slider.
He appeared in the first 2 games of the series. Rounded to third, Uribe. Routine goes across for the first out. Man, this was big. A 1-out double by Punto, and then the pickoff. Martinez to Cosma.
Taking a big lead aggressively, like he's thinking about stealing. The only thing I could think of is maybe they had something on a one look at that they really had where they could steal third base, but this doesn't make any sense to me. You're 2 runs down. You cannot get picked off at second base.
I think the interesting part of the play, you got a shortstop in his 2nd year, a young kid in his 1st year, being able to recognize that and put it on.
Bullet up the middle by John Jay.
Yeah, on the other side of that, great execution. They didn't execute last night. They didn't play a good game, but tonight they are executing and playing well.
Shortstop number 38, Pete Cosma.
And now here is Pete Cosma, who put that tag on Punto. Tell you what, Cosma's done a lot. Didn't start the game. Came in and was part of a big double play on a nice backhand stop to end 1 inning. And then snuffs out that threat with the pickoff of Punto in the 7th.
There's many parts of defending the running game, and Molina behind the plate is a big part of that. But pitchers varying their times, pickoffs at other bases are very effective.
In tight, 2-0. Excuse me, 1-0.
Already put a hit and run on once in this game. You've seen Matheny try to suicide squeeze.
Yeah, and with the lead, you can take a chance. This would be a good opportunity for that.
There he goes, and that pitch hits Cosma. So Jay down to second, Cosma to first, with 1 out here in the 8th.
Running on the pitches, a running fastball all the way in. Hits him on the back wrist, or maybe the forearm area.
Well, Don Mattingly is going to come out. He's got his lineup card out. Looking like a double switch in the process here in the 8th. Had Carlos Marmol warming in the pen. And Michael Young has his glove, and he's come out. We'll sort it all out for you when we come back into Dodger Stadium. Back here at Dodger Stadium in the 8th inning. And Michael Young, part of the double switch, has got a glove and he'll play short. He made one start at short for the Dodgers this year after coming over from the Phillies. Carlos Marmol makes his first appearance of this series as the 4th Dodger pitcher. Daniel Descalso steps in.
Carlos Marmol came over from the Cubs. A good fastball, wipeout slider. Control has always been his issue.
He's trying to keep the game right here at 4-2. Cardinals have 2 on and 1 out. Descalso takes a strike. He singled to lead off the 3rd and came around to score. That's the inning the Cardinals put 3 on the board. He has struck out in his other 2 trips. Oh, 2.
That is a wipeout breaking ball.
He's got a lot of arms and legs coming at you. It kind of hides the baseball. And he has the arm action like he's going to throw it 100, but drops off the table.
Talking to Don Mattingly before the series began and the fact that they had only the one left-hander, J.P. Howell, out of the bullpen. And he said, well, Marmol's a guy who can get lefties out. He's got Descalso up there right now. Howell back, and it stays 1-2. Count even, 2-2.
The wipeout breaking ball, you throw it 3 times in a row, and then you come back with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball that looks like 106.
4 Dodger relievers after Ricky Nolasco started. And Marmol strikes out Descalso for the 2nd out.
Breaking balls to get ahead and fastballs to finish them off.
Whenever I've watched Carlos Marmol, I've always thought that he doesn't throw his fastball enough.
Shane Robinson.
And that brings up Shane Robinson, who draws some boos from the Dodger crowd, which means he must have done something in this game. And he did. A pinch hit home run in the 7th, which made the score 4-2. A solo shot. And here it was off J.P. Howell. Got just enough. His first postseason hit. He had been 0 for 10. Runners lead from 1st and 2nd. In the air to center field. Routine for Ethier. And there is out number 3. Middle of the 8th. 4-2.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
Welcome back to Dodger Stadium, bottom half of the 8th. In Game 4 of the National League Championship Series, 2, 3, and 4 hitters due for the Dodgers, who trail 4-2. Mark Ellis takes a strike from Carlos Martinez. Working quickly, and no balls and 2 strikes.
This young man is electric stuff. You know, could he be for St. Louis what Francisco Rodriguez was for the Angels seasons ago, 2002?
Ellis 0 for 3 and takes a breaking pitch, 1-2. Martinez came on in the 7th. Allowed that 1-out double to Nick Punto, and before the Dodger fans could sit down, he had picked him off. Tapper to third. On the run, nice play made by Descalzo, 1 down. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires for superior performance inspires what we roll into yours. Goodyear, more driven. Tough night for that man. Nick Punto went from igniting a rally with a double to making the long walk back to the Dodger dugout after being picked off. Hot shot by Young. Cosmo threw him out for the 2nd out. Man, I'm telling you, Cosmo's had to handle a couple of bullets out there and done it flawlessly.
He didn't come in and get an easy chance. This is a line drive that you back up. You know, if you catch it, you got time. And he catches it, gets his foot lined up and throws the ball to first base. Now, these aren't easy chances right here. It's hooking. He reads it well, makes a nice play.
That's what we were talking about. You were talking about in the open how uncharacteristic the game that the Cardinals played yesterday. But they're back to Cardinal baseball tonight. They only had 75 errors. That's tied for the fewest in the National League with Arizona.
Adrian Gonzalez takes outside, 1-0. He's got a double in 3 trips and a run scored.
Molina sees something he doesn't like, he's out there. And like I said, usually these conversations have always been 2-way, pitcher and catcher. It's 1 way with Molina.
They play a video on the big screen here at Dodger Stadium of Vin Scully remembering the old Cardinals when Bob Gibson used to tell Tim McCarver, don't even bother coming out here. Nobody says that to Molina on this young staff when he wants to be heard. And now he's going to make another trip back along with Derek Lilliquist, the Cardinals pitching coach.
Well, this has been a common theme in this game, a visit by the catcher and then the pitching coach coming out, obviously trying to get a reliever warm.
Now we know both teams are pretty good at stalling.
Yeah, right. That's Mike Eldreddy with Mike Matheny. He's the bench coach. But Matheny told us he relies on all of his coaches. Segrist and Rosenthal up.
Back to business now. 2 balls and no strikes to Gonzalez. On around the corner for a strike. 2-1.
Now's the time where you're happy you have that extra run to work with. The home run puts him up 2. And the matchups become a little easier and gives Matheny a couple more options. We know he'll go to Rosenthal for more than just 3 outs. We saw how effective he was throwing 2 full innings and then coming back and still having a 101-mile-an-hour fastball. But now he has options.
Right down the line, Adams scoops it up, takes it himself, and that's a 1-2-3 inning for Martinez in the 8th. We head to the 9th. The Cardinals lead at 4-2. National League Championship Series coverage on TBS presented by the Venture Card from Capital One. We move to the 9th at Dodger Stadium. Game 4 of the NLCS. And Matt Carpenter, the Cardinals' leadoff hitter, takes in the dirt 1-0. He's 1 out of 4 with a double and a run scored. Cardinals looking for a little more cushion. They lead 4-2. Carlos Marmol trying to keep it a 2-run game as the Dodgers come to the plate once more with the 5, 6, 7 hitters in the 9th.
Here's some of the control problems you see. The first fastball bounced about halfway to the plate. Then a 1-0 breaking ball. And then a 2-0 fastball up and in. You often hear about repeating your mechanics so you have the same release point. Carlos doesn't seem to repeat each time to the plate.
4-pitch walk to Carpenter to start the 9th.
Right fielder, number 3, Carlos Beltran.
That's 5 walks now from the bullpen and a hit by pitch. A balk. You can keep going on.
Here's Carlos Beltran, and time called. Beltran looking for his first hit of the night. He's walked a couple of times.
Kind of quiet in here right now, Ronnie.
It really is, especially with just a 2-run deficit.
In the air to right center field. Puig is back at the track and hauls it in shy of the wall. 1 down.
Well, Beltran just missed this slider from Marmol. Stays in the ballpark here. Denser air at night here at Dodger Stadium. Ball does not travel as well as it does in the day.
Adrian Chambers has a bat. He'll pinch hit here in the 9th. Chambers 0 for 2 in the series. And 0 for 3 in this postseason with 1 strikeout.
High drops for Beltran.
Chambers takes a strike. When Alan Craig was playing, Matt Adams was the big bat off the bench. Now with Craig not on this roster and Adams starting, you're wondering where you get the pop, and it came from an unexpected source earlier in this game when Shane Robinson went deep. Chambers batting here in the 9th. Marmol has slowed the pace of this game considerably.
The screeching halt.
Throws over. And Carpenter back. Runner going. Pitch inside. And no chance to get Carpenter, who swipes the bag here in the 9th.
Well, Marmol takes a long time to go to the plate. He's a very rhythmic kind of pitcher. So as a base runner, you can get into that rhythm and get those big jumps like Carpenter just got there.
So a little St. Louis insurance at second. And Chambers waits on a 2-1 from Marmol. That's a bullet foul. Heads up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Mike Matheny describing Game 3 as uncharacteristic by St. Louis. Mental mistakes. And it cost them in a 3-0 loss. Tonight they lead 4-2 here in the 9th. Jose Aquindo with a nifty little 2-step to get out of the way of that one from Chambers. Oquendo, the third base coach, and also valuable on this team defensively. He's helped Matt Carpenter develop as a second baseman. He's helped Matt Adams develop as a first baseman. Michael Young was moving in behind Carpenter a little bit at second.
Well, that's what Oquendo is trying to relay out to Carpenter. He wants them to get a big secondary lead. He knows how important this run is.
Strike three called to Adrian Chambers. 2 down here in the ninth.
Maybe caught guessing Slaughter. Gets a fastball right there in the corner.
First baseman, number 53, Matt Adams.
Yeah, when you throw as many sliders as Marmol does, you're thinking about slider as the plate, and you get fooled by the fastball. Now, he's got a really good fastball, 96, 97 miles an hour. But you get frozen. And in a sense, it almost feels like you're looking for something backward. The way the pitchers pitch backward that have really good changeup. Marmol does it really well with his slider, which sets up his fastball.
Adams is 0 for 4 and 1 for 14 in this series. And Marmol falls behind 2-0.
It's a good hitter's count, but doesn't necessarily mean fastball here. First base is open.
Dangerous Molina up next, though.
Three and 0.
There was the breaking ball, just didn't get it down. Left it a little bit up.
Marmol's problems is kind of catch-22. He's deceptive because he raises that front shoulder and hides the baseball. But that's the problem. He opens that shoulder too quickly, and that's why he doesn't have those consistent mechanics.
There's a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike to Matt Adams.
And even a 3-0 breaking ball right there. So if you're the hitter, you're thinking, okay, that's the pitch I got to hit.
From 3-0 to a full count to Adams. Carpenter, the runner at second, threw a leadoff walk and stole second.
Now here's a little noise.
Still just a 2-run game. Strike 3 called to Adams. And Yadier Molina quickly ushers him back to the dugout. We're heading to the bottom of the ninth. Cardinals 4, Dodgers 2. Welcome you back, Ernie Johnson, Cal Ripken, Ron Darling. The Cardinals 3 outs away from taking a 3-1 lead. The Dodgers need a base runner and a long ball.
That's it. That's a simple thing. Is let's first get a base runner, because then you put the tying run at home plate, so it is possible. Focus on getting that runner on.
Trevor Rosenthal, the St. Louis closer, on for the 3rd time in this series, and he faces Andre Ethier, 0-1.
Look at those numbers, base on balls to strikeouts to Rosenthal. His last save in St. Louis is about as dominating I've ever seen a pitcher in a game.
I was always torn when you're in this situation. You need a runner on base to get the tying run to the plate, but you don't go up there with a taking mentality, because this is a strikeout pitcher. He's going to get ahead. He's going to come after you. You need all 3 of your swings. You need to go up there and be aggressive instead of being passive.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Ethier singled his first time, walked and scored in the 4th, lined out to left in the 6th. And a notion held up 2-2.
Good hard fastball, but just a little off the plate. 98 miles an hour.
Up the middle, there's the base runner. Ethier with a leadoff single here in the 9th.
Just the fastball down. I think anything up would be hard for Ethier to get to, but down a little easier.
You could drop the head on a low fastball. That high fastball has a little extra hop, especially from him.
On the 25th anniversary of Kirk Gibson, Dodgers looking for some more history tonight. What Puig did that was magical all summer long, those late home runs.
Well, he's relaxed, he's feeling good, he's gotten a couple hits since he's been home.
1-0 in that dominating save in Game 2. He struck out Puig to start the 9th.
It didn't seem like Puig had too much of a chance. A different opportunity right here.
Dangerous thing about Puig is that he can run into one and hit one over the right field fence.
Power to all fields.
2-0. He thought he had done that last night running. But it was a triple off the wall.
You know, the young closer probably felt more comfortable when he was pitching on his home field here at Dodger Stadium, 55,000 strong. Little different feeling.
It's loud right now.
Puig has been on every time up tonight. A walk and a couple of hits. Huge spot here in the 9th. Grounded to second. There's 1. There's 2. Carpenter with a great play at second. Froze Ethier, made the tag, and retired Puig for a double play.
You know, the general rule is don't let him tag you right here. This particular ground ball put Ethier in no man's land and executed perfectly.
There was a day that, as a base runner, you'd kind of run over the second baseman so he wouldn't be able to make the toss. Those days are done.
And the decibel level just dropped considerably here in LA. Here's Uribe. Base is cleared now with 2 out. Rosenthal at 96, 0-1.
It shows you how good Rosenthal's fastball is. Even on a 2-0 count, Yasiel does not get the bat head out. It's a ground ball to second base. You have a little time to react to that sort of speed.
The 0-2. Clayton Kershaw wants the ball back in St. Louis in Game 6.
The idea is like, relax now. Right through the glove, throw strikes. But he's getting awfully pumped up.
There it is again. Settle down. The 2-2. Struck him out. The St. Louis Cardinals are a win away from the World Series. It's 3-1 in the NLCS.
Well, we talked about the starting pitching for the Dodgers coming into this ball game, but they've got great starting pitching from the Cardinals too, and their bullpen now has only given up 1 run in 14 innings.
Lance Lynn pitches into the 6th. Rosenthal comes on to close it out, and Shane Robinson with a pinch hit home run to provide that 2-run cushion. And the Cardinals lead at 3-1.
Forget that crooked number they put up, 3 runs early. Matt Holliday fueling that with one of the longest home runs you've ever seen.